Is this finally the year Miami reaches the ACC championship game? Mark Rogers TV reviewing the ACC as we have ranked the schedules in the Power 5, 68 all the way up to number 1. Please check out that series and the introductory video that explains the process. Now we move on to making our predictions. So we do this every year in which we predict the outcomes of the races and the college football playoff participants, but this year we take it a step further and actually go through the game. So you see this percentage figure off to the left of each game. That is the probability that that team, meaning Miami, is going to defeat, for example, Bethune-Cookman, 99% chance. That doesn't mean that that probability is going to hold true to my prediction each and every time, because there are upsets, and we're going to try to find where those upsets are going to occur, and they're not always going to sound like they're reasonable. Just like if I would have said Pitt's going to beat Clemson on the road in 2016, most people would have said, you're crazy, but it happened. So more to come in 2017. Of course, it's college football, and it's sports in general. There are upsets, so we're going to try to find them. Miami, Bethune-Cookman's the opener, 99% certainty of happening. Some of us would consider it to be basically a lock, 100% they win the game. Okay, tricky game here against Arkansas State on the road. On the road, Miami goes on the road to a Group of 5 school from the Sun Belt for a second consecutive year. They went to App State, outclassed Appalachian State last year. They do much of the same to Arkansas State, although I give it a little bit less of a certainty because it's a quality opponent on the road. 95% certainty. Canes win it. All right, here comes the big Florida State game. And Miami fans can't wait to finally get on the field and once again reverse the clock in the calendar back to the 90s and defeat the Noles. But it's not going to happen this time around, despite the last 2 years it being oh so close. Miami has a big disadvantage at quarterback at this point, although, of course, MarkRogersTV will have 2 assignments to get warmed up for the Noles. Florida State wins in Tallahassee, and I give Miami a 30% chance of winning this game, and they can't pull it off. They fall to 2-1. Then they've got a couple softies, relatively speaking, although, like Arkansas State, Toledo out of the MAC, not an easy assignment for a Group of 5 assignment, as the Rockets have done very well in the MAC in recent years. They have to play at Miami, though. Canes win it. They also defeat Duke in their first Coastal Division test to 65% certainty on the road. And we know that the last time Rozier faced Duke on the road, that was his one starting assignment, and that was the crazy 8 lateral game to conclude the finish for the Canes in defeating Duke 30-27. All right, couple home games against Georgia Tech and Syracuse. Miami takes care of business, and obviously that game against Georgia Tech could be key in winning the Coastal Division. North Carolina off a step this season under Larry Fedora after losing all that offensive talent. Miami wins that one. They are off to a tremendous start. Pivotal game at home against Virginia Tech. Of course, the Hokies completely outclassed Miami 37-16 in Blacksburg last year. But like North Carolina, Virginia Tech losing all sorts of explosive power on the offense, and they're going to feel it against the Canes. Miami wins that one at home. And that's going to be the game that's going to pretty much decide the division championship in the Coastal. Notre Dame at Miami. They played last year in South Bend. Miami lost to a pitiful Notre Dame team that finished at 4-8. I give the Canes a 60% chance of winning this one. I believe that they're slightly better than Notre Dame, but on this day, they get upset at home against Notre Dame. And they come back, they beat Virginia to wrap up the Coastal Division despite the loss, a closing loss to Pitt. No, I do not believe that Pitt is better than Miami, but this will be a late November game at Heinz Field, Division Championship 1, and Miami falls at Pitt despite the probability of winning the game. So the Canes finish up at 9-3. 6-2 in the ACC with the losses to Florida State and to Pittsburgh. Those are our thoughts on the Miami schedule as the Canes and Mark Richt hope to win the Coastal, as many of us predict, right here on Mark Rogers TV.